Mr. Schaub, sorry for your loss.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. Let's just jump right into it. First one, Diller made them watch Golden Showr. Let's play the clip here.
That he would have me watch all of his content and wanted me to like praise him for it and worship him, and he had me call him God a couple times. He said verbatim, "I am God."
Yes, he's never seen his own Netflix specials.
So he had me watching his Twitch stream, and those were long too. They were like 2-3 hours each time.
If I'm the judge, this is the part where I just give you $1 million for having to sit through that. Dear God.
One thing.
All right, so if you guys don't know who she is the one that exposed Chris D'Elia in the Rolling Stones article. Let me rephrase that memory for you guys that don't remember. This is the article. Do everything I say. 10 women claim comedian Chris D'Elia preyed on them. And her name is, what's her name? Jasmine Wolf was the one that outed Chris D'Elia. Also, she said that she got a tattoo of Chris. She made several women get tattoos of his initials. As you guys can kind of see that initial here, CD. CD's nuts. No, but seriously, that's messed up what he did. Pretty much try to brand all the chicks, according to this article here. It's alleging that there was some abuse from Chris, allegedly. Must I keep that even more clear? You know, man, this Chris D'Elia, man, he's crazy. But look. Yeah, it's even more crazy, what she said, basically, it's like Jeffrey Dahmer, it's that Jeffrey Dahmer scene where he's like, hey, you can't leave until I show you this movie, The Exorcist.
What are you gonna do?
Told you. We're gonna hang out.
Hey, dolphins fuck people.
Watch a movie.
That's a real thing.
Take some pictures.
So Chris and Jeff have similar interests in mind. They love, taking pictures. They want to show them a scary movie, which is his material. Like,
hey, dolphins fuck people. That's a real thing.
Honestly, his newest material, it's like horrible. The man declined in the comedy from his early specials. He was good, honestly good, and then when he started talking about fucking dolphins, it just went downhill for him.
That's a real thing that I didn't make up. Dolphins fuck people. Dolphins fuck people.
Maybe he just got lazy, maybe because he just got famous during that time real quick.
He is Justin Bieber's favorite comic, which is why he has "duh" in the middle of his name. Please welcome future
Dolphins
Chris D'Elia. Yeah.
And he wanted to capitalize and just try to throw material out there. It just didn't work for him. But yeah, that's just some psychopath kind of thing to be like, you can't leave yet until we watch my Twitch stream or my podcast. That's crazy, man. But look, I don't know. She's telling the truth. Who knows? Maybe some other girls have said the same things. I've heard that he's done the same thing to other chicks, but yeah, that's wild. All right, guys, next clip, modern day philosophers be.
I love you to death.
Brother, I love you way more than you'll ever love me, and you know that. I told you that last night.
That's a ridiculous thing to say to a person.
You changed my life immeasurably.
You changed mine too. We changed each other's lives. We really did. I just get too much credit. It's all of us. It's like we did it all together. We all did it together. Without good friends, nobody really succeeds because you don't appreciate it if it's just you. It doesn't seem fair. It seems all fucked up.
I keep saying to people, you got to surround yourselves with the motherfuckers. If you're talking about your friends,
by motherfuckers, he means people that are funnier than you.
As if you're the top dog, then you're with the wrong dudes. Someone said to me, you're always talking like you're not a great comic and your friends are so much better. I go, they are. Look who my fucking friends are. Are you fucking kidding me? Like my friends, I surround myself by people that are way better than me. And then I just listen. Not listen a lot, but
we all rise up together. It's the old expression that the rising tide raises all boats.
We all rise up together. As Brendan would like to say, the cream rises to the top.
Cream rises to the top.
Now look, obviously everybody credits Joe as the kingmaker here. He is the kingmaker. To say the man has the biggest podcast. Anyone that goes and tries to sell a book or merchandise or whatever, a special, he's a views booster, of course. Everybody knows this, and there's no way of denying that. But maybe, within the years, things have changed for Joe or other people. Maybe for some people that he keeps bringing back, they don't get the same amount, because it's like Brendan. He's been there the most times. He has the most appearances in the Joe Rogan podcast, but his numbers do not rise up. His fans don't go up. I mean, it's also because he hasn't been there for a while now, but other people do get a significant boost in their career, especially for Bert Kreischer, because before the machine story, because Bert likes to credit Joe for telling him, hey, do the machine, do it on stage, and you'll do really good. He did it. He thought he wasn't going to do good, and now he credits Joe for his success and tries to, sort of mimic Joe. Bert took Joe's philosophy and also implemented that in his success by using like smaller comedians, New York comedians. Here's Chris DiStefano crediting him as another, Joe Rogan, because when he went on his show, he also got quite a, he got a boost in viewers. Of course, Joe beats Bert's numbers, his viewership, by a whole lot. But here's Chris DiStefano saying that Bert is kind of like Joe Rogan in a way, because he helped him in his career.
And I'll be the dude that introduced that energy to us was Rogan.
Yeah.
Rogan started finding us and going, dude, you're funny as shit. I want you on my podcast all the time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he introduces us to dude, I've had so many emotional conversations with this man that he's like, I love that you're blowing up. I love that you have a movie coming out. The only reason my movie's coming out is because I leaked it on his fucking show.
Right.
And I mean, that guy's been so good to me in a way that I could never repay.
Right.
Well,
it's paying it forward.
See, look, there you go. Of course, Bert being so kind and slugging him off. And, also Andrew Schultz does the same thing. He says, hey, man, this guy, he's the king of comedy. He'll make you, he'll break you. And it's sort of true. It's sort of true.
Always, I would assume one of the best compliments you can get is when or that you hear of if somebody discovers how many people got turned on to me and now come to my show. It's because I went on your show, when you were doing it in your house in the back room, the old house. You had me on, and as you said, when nobody was giving really any New York comics a chance, you and Theo let me come on your show, and then I started to get all these followers, and that's the beginning of things starting to change a little bit for me. Anytime I hear, which is not, that much, but if I hear somebody discovered a comic because they came on my show, it feels amazing. And you have broken so many comics. You're a lot of our Rogans, you know what I mean?
Oh, no.
Because Rogan had, his guys, and Rogan, and now I've been fortunate to go on his show, and I feel the same way about Joe. I love him. Being around him, it's amazing. But really, my kind of, it was really you, Theo, Fighter and the Kid, letting me go on those shows, and then everything started to change.
Big up to Fighter and the Kid for making people pop. No, but it's true. Collabs do work. Let's be honest here. They work. Don't matter. I mean, of course, if you're Theo, you're gonna get some viewers. If you're Bert or anybody else, you go to Norman's or the Louis J. Gomez, they're all gonna give you even more subscribers, more viewers, more money. It all comes with it. All right, guys. So there you have it. Yes, there's a lot of bending the knee here to Joe, but that's the obvious truth. It's the obvious truth that Joe does create new comedians and gives people a platform that's really huge, and a lot of people look up to Joe. All right, the next one. It appears that Brennan is going to Skankfest. If you guys don't know what Skankfest is, it's a comedy festival hosted by the Legion of Skanks, and it features like various kinds of comedians doing time, and it's like a week's festival or something. So a lot of people paid a lot of money for this, and apparently Brendan is confirming that he's going to Skankfest. Quite an odd thing. A lot of people in the comments say, "Hey, he's not gonna do it." But let's watch this clip here.
Oh, I'm doing Skankfest, Eric.
Oh, you gonna do it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I talked to Gomez.
Oh, that's gonna be something.
Are you doing it this year?
Yeah, I'm gonna be there too.
Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to make sure.
Where's Brian tonight with his babe and
Callan canceled 2 days ago, and he goes, "Oh, dude, I messed up. I have a dinner."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Brian's on my shit list right now.
It's funny because he tells them like weeks before, and he's like, "Oh, something popped up, Brian." But look, let's get back to the real issue here. Skankfest. I like how Eric says, "Oh, that's gonna be something."
Talk to Gomez.
Oh, that's gonna be something.
It's gonna be something. What does that mean? From the fans, good thing, bad thing, who knows? For sure, there's gonna be a lot of haters at Skankfest. But it is 3 months away, so it's gonna be hard for him to create an excuse. It's gonna be in October, Halloween. It's gonna be a scary time for Brendan, calendar wise and also real life wise. There might be a chance where he's gonna get heckled or some wild thing's gonna happen. But who knows? He might not make it. The people in the comments down below say he's not going to make it. He's going to make an excuse, just like how he did the European tour. But the difference with the European tour is that he could not sell the tickets. So he could not get to London or the UK. And so he had to cancel all that. And apparently he's going to try to reschedule. But Skankfest is going to be really hard to cancel because it's going to be possibly sold out once everything's finalized, and there's no way for him to get out of this unless he's like, "Oh, I forgot my kid had some jiu-jitsu practice or some pee-wee football practice or whatnot." So it's going to be tough. So Luis J. Gomez says that Brendan called him because he's worried about the possible hate, and he wants to know, how do you deal with hate, Luis? How do you deal with people not liking you? And here is Luis J. Gomez. Here's the title of this post. Brenda is so desperate, he reached out to Luis Gomez for advice on dealing with the haters.
Well, that's because, Brendan Schaub, who we're having on Skankfest, he hit me up being like, "Hey, dude, how did you deal with all your troll? I heard you had a lot of trolls and And I was like, dude, you got to just
ignore it.
You got to embrace it because he gets killed by his subreddit. Right? So he was like, hey, dude, he was like, what do you do about this? And I was like, well, dude, first of all, I'm the leader of the people who are trolling you on your subreddit. I have 5
people say it's Ariel and Bruce Campbell, but okay, maybe.
Great accounts that I personally troll you with. So
I am Heisenberg. Hello.
I personally troll you. That's a good little reference from Bobby Lee being the mastermind.
I am your Heisenberg.
No, but yeah, I think you have to almost just fucking take the hit.
Yeah.
Or either ignore it or laugh at it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That is I think the secret with trolls, just in general. If you either ignore it completely or fucking laugh at it. But if you start blocking or getting angry or
you're just throwing gasoline on a fire.
Going back at people it's such a crazy fucking way to be.
So this has been Brendan's big issue with the haters, the trolls and whatnot, the subreddit. It's that he says that he doesn't look at this stuff. He just posts and ghosts.
I post and ghost. I don't pay attention to that stuff.
Same, he's always saying it doesn't hurt me, but then it hurts me. But I appreciate them creating that stuff. Some of the people, they must consume my stuff to know what I do and who I am.
Although I get it, I appreciate it, and I just don't give it energy.
And it's sort of true. We know who you are, but also some of those things are true about you. So don't hate us for telling it how it is, or people in the subreddit creating things and you saying that you're wrong, because most of the time you are, or you're being a dick, or I don't know, maybe people don't understand your humor. Maybe, go out there and say that, me saying that I met The Rock and he said, oh, you're that white boy that works too much, is some sort of shtick or like a bit or a running joke. Like, it's like you have to maybe tell them something. Maybe they'll understand it after that. Maybe because you do bring it up maybe sometimes and you make it sound real, or people think it's real, or you might make it think it's real. I don't know what kind of, is this checkers or chess? What are we playing here, Brandon? People don't get you. People don't get your comedy. People think you're a dick at times. But you can't handle criticism, apparently. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. I'm sure that Brendan realizes that he's losing fans, he's losing viewers. Maybe this is a step in a different direction, trying to do something different. Maybe, get some fans from somewhere else, just like how Bert Kreischer got his fans from Joe Rogan, just like how Chris DeStefano got them from The Fighter and the Kid, and from Bert Kreischer and from Rogan, Andrew Schultz. All these guys help each other. But now it seems like Brendan is in his own circle because they don't want to touch him because he's associated with Chris D'Elia and he's associated with Brian Callen. So people lump him in with that same crowd, because if you're hanging out with those guys, then you are sympathetic to what they might have done. Now, of course, everything's still alleged, but when you're like demonized like Chris and Brian, it's hard for you to be invited to certain shows because you associate with them. You can't associate with a serial killer or like an abuser, because they're gonna think that you don't find any of those things serious and you don't care about certain things. So like, I understand Brendan wants to get some more viewers, new fans, but he has to understand that he's gonna have to just take the heat, go to the show. Him showing up to the Skankfest will really help him out in the long run. People will respect him. If people heckle him, he has to take it, man. He's a tough guy. He was a former fighter, a former NFL player for a cup of coffee or whatever. So he has to be there. He cannot cancel this, because it's going to bite him really, really hard. And it's going to be another thing that he failed in. And people are going to notice that. Straight up, people are going to notice that. As Luis said, he does not hate him. It's all just for the shits and giggles, just to troll him. He wants to troll with the fans, with the Redditors, because that also helps him, because he's also making fun of Brendan, and he's like, haha, he's pointing with us, so that's why people like him. Some people like him here in the subreddit, some people don't. Comedy is subjective. People are gonna think that Brendan's not funny, Lewis is not funny, this fat guy's not funny, or they're just all around haters and they love hating on comedians because they all suck,
Like, I don't have any legitimate ill will. I don't actually have any ill will toward the guy. I've literally met him one time. He seems like he has a lot of mutual friends. Like I said, it's an open invite for Skankfest. I would love him to come to do Skankfest.
I would love, and that's
he would murder at Skankfest.
He would have
murder at Skankfest.
He would have
a blast. He'd have a great time.
Final clip. Here's George, the new guy, the replacement for the BGL. This says, "You guys got me good. This is what came to mind watching this."
56.
I just like her as a person.
Well, yeah, she's 50. She's young. You're old.
That doesn't mean anything.
It means everything, right?
I don't know about that.
You want to play this game, right?
No, but I like being around her.
So is Al Pacino. Oh. I'm around her for
young energy, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Keeps you young.
Yeah.
There's a reason why old guys like young chicks. Jeez, this is crazy.
Isn't that crazy talk? I never heard of that before.
Yeah, you should be
that's not a through line throughout all history.
Yeah, you should be in prison, but whatever. What? What do you got, Chin?
Okay, so George, he's the new guy. He's the replacement for BGL or Shrimp or Cat, right? All these other former employees of Schaub that have left, and now he's the one taking over. He's Chin's sidekick now. And for the most part, he's a fan of Brendan. He's a fan of the Fight and the Kid. He's also basically, he idolizes Brendan as well. He credits him for losing weight because of him, because of the pandemic. Now, there isn't a lot of hate for George. Like, all of the comments that I see down below are quite positive. Here's the top one from Wack Karnak. If you're actually George, I respect you for being able to laugh at yourself. That's a good trait that Fat Patrick never learned. When you get sick of Bapa and feel ready to join Chang's, the AMA will be Netflix. I doubt that George will betray Brandon like how he did to BGL, because the way that BGL and Brandon had a relationship, it was filled with a bromance and, you know, the baddies and the addies, as you can remember from that series. And the reason why also BGL left is because he got fired for not doing his job, which was doing like clips, reels, shorts, YouTube shorts, all that stuff. He was in charge of.
The rest of my job that day was just going to be editing the Fighter and the Kid reels, right? Because I also I became an editor, you know, and that's another thing too, where that's a more advanced skill. But he kind of like, you know, he was by the time I left, he was paying me less than when I started for basically becoming almost a full-time editor.
Now, I don't see George being fired the way that BGL did. Seems like BGL was also doing like part-time acting, trying to get to do other ventures, gym trainer, whatnot, and also doing clips and stuff. So he was also Brendan's friend, so he thought he could get some sort of special treatment, but Brendan didn't see it that way. And ultimately, Brendan just fired him unceremoniously, as BGL said that he had all the clips done and stuff, and still, regardless, fired him. And that's what pissed him off. But George seems like a more careful guy, much more calmer guy, and is not really tied to the side of Brendan. Doesn't seem like Brendan would hang out with him as much as BGL would, because, you know, BGL, as you guys know, he had the hookup. He had that hookup in the baddies and the addies. I don't know. Maybe George took that part in that, but since we now know that that's true, and it has also been confirmed by Brendan, so, you know, I doubt he will do that again, but with George. And for the most part, I feel like they don't really care much about George. Like Brandon and Brian, you know, it was George's birthday in this episode, and they were like, "Oh, let's do the birthday. Let's go to a dinner, right?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm busy. How about this week? How about next week?" But the only one that seemed to care about George is Chin, which kind of surprises me. But of course, I think it's because Chin is like 50 years old. Maybe he sees like George as his son, sort of like a stepson. He was the only one to give him a happy birthday. Remember his birthday?
It's George's
birthday. It's Keto G's B-Day.
Happy birthday
24
to
years
you.
old.
Happy birthday to you.
That's nice. That's nice of Clint to give George a little cupcake and appreciate him and appreciate his coworker. Seems like Brendan just doesn't give him the same amount of love. Being a fan as well, there seems to be some sort of weird thing between them. Like they don't really respect George enough to like have even a dinner with them.
Well, I got to take you to dinner. You're the one.
What do you mean? You're the one that you. I
You're
said
the one who always
no,
cancels.
No, I said I can't go.
Well,
and you said all the three of us to
we
go.
had Tuesday planned, and Brendan was like, it's a bad night for me. I'm like, all right.
Just one dinner? You can't quit your little show and have a dinner with this kid. He's like, he's been there for a year now. He considers Brendan his inspiration, his idol. But man, you know what they say, man, never meet your heroes. Alrighty guys, that is the end of the show. Let me know what you guys think, what was your favorite, and like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
That he he would have me watch all of his content and wanted me to like praise him for it and worship him, and he had me call him God a couple times. He said verbatim, I am God.
Yes, he's never seen his own Netflix specials.